my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
I'm your huckleberry.
All I'm offering is the truth.
Groovy.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
I'm a land farmer, motherfucker! Bring out Jadid!
I think you're some kind of deviated prefect.
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
Sorry, I'm farted.
Let's get started. Let's get sharded. Come on, start the mic's on. Everything's good. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. For those of you that caught me on Steph's show this morning, thank you for dropping by. Lovely. Sorry I didn't have more warning. They asked me kind of last minute. And I responded kind of so late in the day after because I was doing my show and all that kind of stuff that I was like, oh, they probably found somebody else. But I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot anyways. Yeah, I can come in. And they're like, thank God, Jesus Christ, the Christ. And so they sent me a little Zoom link this morning. And I was like, oh, shit. And I had a great time. Had a great show. And also, that's largely to not just for the sheer joy of actually doing Steph's show, which is a good time, always. Have a good time all the time, Marty. That's my motto. But also, I think largely because we got to promote that Sexy Liberal show coming up on October 21st at the Saban Theater. I think there's still tickets left. Honestly, I don't know. I never get a straight answer anyways from them. So I'm always, and I think always be selling. You know what I mean? If you miss it there, man, starting up in January, we're coming to your town. We're if I by hook or by fucking crook, if I have to hire a separate booker entirely and just set up shows for me and Frangela and John Fugelsang, if Steph's too busy sitting on the throne to go to some of the lesser known but more important cities, let's just put it that way, purple districts as it were, then I'll make it happen. Come on. So, anyways, we got too much stuff to cover today. Trump stomping his feet and leaving and flying. What a baby. And then, of course, the stuff comes out that in Mark Meadows' book, the galleys for his book, he had a whole section about that, the showing of the documents that Trump did, where he actually described that it was Mark Milley's plan. Like, Trump is it's so stupid. It's so, yeah. Again, there will not be enough popcorn for 2023. And I have to say, you can tell by the clips that are being sent my way. I'm just saying. Morning. Hello, DC Jiu-Jitsu. Good to see you. Fair dinkum. Mean like Phoenix? Yes, I do actually. How Cenk is suggesting Matt Gaetz' resolution should be supported by the Dems. Cenk's a fucking idiot. No. They should not be bailing out Matt Gaetz anytime soon. If Matt Gaetz wants to vote with the Dems because the Dems are voting the way they should, fine. But they're not going to join him in some sort of scuttling of Republican leadership just for the fuck of it. Because again, that's that TYT burn it all down reflex that they seem to fall on no matter what. No, it's absurd. It's not adult. It's a waste of time. It's goofy. It's, again, it's like they fall back into that pocket like, hey, we were almost destroyed America when we helped Donald Trump last time. Maybe we'll get closer this time, or maybe one Republican ever so slightly smarter will get closer to it, and they'll do it. They'll slip through the cracks. Right? Fuck that. Cenk says he's voting for Marianne. Yeah, it's in serious bullshit, and that's the whole thing about like. Let's be abundantly clear. And by the way, hi chat room. Good to see you. If I may, God damn it. Let's just listen to me for one fucking second. If you are in a safe fucking state, I don't want to hear this bullshit about, well, my vote doesn't matter because my state's going to go blue anyways, so I might as well vote for a third party. No. Because you want to back up the Democratic cause, which you actually fucking believe in, right? The people that are in your state, if you're in a big blue state and you are represented fairly well already by that, and you're like, fuck it. You are stealing mandate from the Democrats, and you are saying to the Republican Party, I'm not backing these motherfuckers and whatever they're trying to do. I leave them out to hang. I don't care. If you decide to push them on stuff, I'm out. So I don't really care. You stick with the mandate insofar as you can get actual progress, or you're not a fucking progressive. Period. End of story. If you're like, I'm in a safe state, therefore I'm going to throw my vote away. No, because that is a mentality that when it becomes pervasive, waters down the vote in states that would otherwise be at the vanguard of actually implementing the shit you pretend to be for. Until such time as we no longer have a MAGA extremist group within the Republican Party that can literally put a bit in the mouth of the GOP and make it do whatever it wants. Until you have a safe zone where even the conservatives you're dealing with are respectfully involved in discourse with you over minutia around the issues, and maybe they can bring some solutions to the table. Until that happens, you have no business chucking your vote out as if, if they have 65%, what's the difference between 65% and 67%? Well, if it's growing, it means a fucking lot. And if it was at 67% and it drops down to 65%, while the Dems are making progress on the very things you fucking say you're for, then why would the Republicans fear you as a voting bloc? You're just the ripcord caucus. It's only a matter of time before you're out of here. Fuck that. It's stupid. It's lazy. And it's self-involved. It's arrogant. It's privileged, to use a choice word. There endeth the rant. Hi. I feel so much better. I do. I feel good. I feel really good. And I love you guys. And I'm glad to see you here. And hello. We have a shit ton of stuff to cover, if I may. Let's it's a Hal Turkey Tale. I like it. Yes. Thank you, chat room. Thank you for the applause and the rant. I will eventually get a sound effect for it at some, or do I have one? I don't think so. I don't think the sample grid gives, let's see. No. Crowd ambiance. No, it just sounds like people are milling around. That's not good. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have any applause. I'm fine. Hype train. If you're on Twitch, don't forget to subscribe. Twitch.tv/HalSparks. And of course, Patreon.com/HalSparks is the thing that keeps us afloat. And guess what? Okay, I ordered it, and it was the date they gave me was October 12th, ladies and gentlemen. The Apple was concocting the Mac Pro cheese grater that will be the heart of the show for the foreseeable future that we've been saving up for this time. And the idea was it would deliver and I would be able to pick it up on the 12th. It's arrived. It arrived last night. And I checked the thing because I'm a nerd. And I was like, where are they putting the RAM in right now? What are you doing right now? Speak very slowly. Tell me what is the... are you putting in the hard drive? What are you doing? And so it arrived, and so I can go pick it up after the show tonight. So if I'm slightly distracted, that's why. It's here early, and I was like, So anyways, that's why if my brain is in a fucking sidecar tonight, there it is. Nerd alert. And yeah, do we have I don't even know if I have that one. Do I? Nope.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
So I'm Carl, it's going well. I've done 3 mornings this week and 3 mornings last week on my Gaelic. So yeah. So Kamadaha. That's what we'll get there. Kamadaha. We'll get there eventually. So and what's my shirt? For those of you who don't know, this is the Taiwanese flag. And if you're not aware, Taiwan is a country. Just saying. It's a country. All its own. with its own president, and a democratically elected one at that, not even picked by a magic group of princelings. Yeah, and if you don't recognize this, you can be forgiven because this was originally, if you don't know, was on Tom Cruise's jacket in the original Top Gun. Yes, a woman president at that. And the Taiwanese flag was on his jacket, and the movie studio censored it in the international version. They painted over the patch. And in the new Top Gun, the patch is back. Reason enough to go see that movie or to watch it and enjoy it. There you go. So, yeah, it's just a thing. So, I like it. And I have some dear Taiwanese friends, and my old acupuncturist is not available because she now works for the president of Taiwan. She's now one of the personal acupuncturists for those folks. So there you go. Do not try to set up the new computer for tomorrow morning. I will not. I'll still be using this temporarily. I've got to get it. It will take days to get it configured with all the software. So don't worry. But believe me, I'm going to get a jump start. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. La, 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 la. Now you did it. Now you did it. Thanks a lot. You distracted me. I was almost on point again. Now you got me thinking about the computer. Dirty, nasty. Oh, it's good. All right. Yes, we'll discuss actual issues, Frankie. I'm getting there. God damn it. Also, share the show. Like, subscribe, all the stuff I'm supposed to say, support, and blah, 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 and Venmo. Okay. I'm trying to get it all right out of the, God damn it. All right. Let's get started with one clip that I don't even know if I even want to do the clip, but if I may, I just love the fucking thumbnail. First of all, this is from Life, Liberty, and Levin, Mark Levin's thing. They made this, and I gotta say, this looks like something that I would make, but not, they wouldn't like it if I did. First of all, I will say technically, I have to call bullshit on a couple of things. That hand is way too big, and they had to de-orange his face so it didn't blend into the sand. I guarantee somebody made that decision. Can we take down some of the orange in his face? Because you can't, it looks like he's already in the sand. Yes, also it does look like sand, not quicksand. But that, I mean, if you're just making a thumbnail to the, quick grab of the eye, I get where they're going. Trump's legal quicksand. I just, in that level, that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is a thumbnail on an extraordinarily pro-Trump show. It's forced perspective. Doug, you're letting him off the hook. I don't buy it. The chat room is coming with all sorts of excuses why the hand looks bigger. No. As a matter of fact, there is a weird effect with Donald Trump that the closer his hands get to you, the smaller they appear. It's true. You just got to learn to deal with it. Yeah. So anyways, I fucking find that hilarious. We'll dip into it real quick. I don't even know if I give a shit enough to watch the whole thing, but we'll find out.
How can a county district...
Oh, by the way, he's taken to this YouTube thing of doing a this is what you're going to see in this clip thing at the beginning of the clip to try to keep people interested. So it's kind of a best of at the beginning, which I like because then we can skip all the ums and whats and his head shaking.
Attorney bring charges against a federal official who's giving his opinion at the Department of Justice. So it is absolutely outrageous.
Outrageous! Look at that, right out of the fucking gate. Outrageous! Yeah, that's how it works, dum-dum. That's and what he means is it's legit. It's totally legit.
What's taking place in this country? What's going on in this country to
it's outrageous.
Trump? They now are trying to destroy his business?
No, I think they kind of already have. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the judge has already given him a date to liquidate his assets in New York that are for his business. He's gonna appeal it, but that order has already come down. That's why Trump left, because he basically lost the case. The rest of this is just a matter of record.
They're trying to steal it from him?
No, they don't want it. Somebody else will have it. They're not turning them into fucking government buildings. These Marxists, Mr. Producer, these Marxist assholes in the Democratic Party are going to take his buildings and turn them into, like, charities or fill them with immigrants. It's going to be terrible. I can't take it anymore.
They're trying to take his licenses away?
Okay, never mind the fact that the fucker can't drive. But his business license says, why don't you list how many he's got? Because it's fucking 1,500. Now tell me, Mark Levin, that all 1,500 of his licensed the businesses do something, make something, create something, sell a product, provide a service. Because every time they walk down this road, they trap themselves.
They're trying to put part of his business under a third party, like a conservator of sorts.
Right, yeah, he's basically Britney Spears, but just actually psycho. They took away his license to ill? I don't think so. He's making me ill right now.
You know damn well if Donald Trump hadn't run for president, none of this would be going on.
Fuck off. Yes, it would. I'll tell you what, if he hadn't done January 6th, there very well may be a chance that this would have soft pedaled out, or he would have pleaded and paid fines on a bunch of this shit, or like the civil cases would be the worst thing they had to deal with, like E. Jean Carroll. That would have continued because he's a fucking asshole, and he would have continued to be a fucking asshole after he left the presidency. But if January 6th hadn't happened, a lot of this stuff would have come. There was a point where they're like, we'll let him get, there was like this iceberg of shittiness with Trump, and there was this little bit right here, and January 6th lowered the sea level like 500 feet, and everybody was like, oh, fuck this dude. And yes, the sound is soft on this video because it's him, so I'll probably bail out because he's also whispering pathetically. He's kind of muted.
If he'd been in the Reform Party, the Democrat Party, none of this would be going on.
Yeah, because we would have just kicked him out like Menendez. We'd be going, get this fucker out of here. Ask Al Franken how the Democratic Party would have handled the level of sexual assault allegations against this fucking guy if he ran for office. Are you fucking shitting me? He never would have been a presidential contender. It's why he ran as a president. He doesn't believe in any principles that you guys fucking have. He's just a crook.
He dared to run for president. He dared to run as a Republican.
He had to.
The truth. The judge in this case is another one of these hacks. He's elected. He's a Democrat.
Right, yes. The people chose him.
The prosecutor, of course, should have been disbarred a long time ago for campaigning on saying that she's going to indict. Yeah, because, again, all right, this is the same shit. They're all saying the same stuff. Look, Levin, let me tell you, buddy. Everybody in fucking New York knows what a fraud Donald Trump is. He's been a fucking joke for decades. The amazing part of The Apprentice is that everybody in New York was like, this fucking guy's got a business show? Are you shitting me? You could argue that Shark Tank is a response to The Apprentice. Like, we need a real business show, because this is making like New York business people look like total fucking idiots. This is embarrassing. There's no value in being the apprentice to Donald fucking Trump. He doesn't even know how his business works. Watch his fucking depositions. Everyone in New York, the reason you could run on getting Trump in New York is because everybody in New York wants to get fucking Trump, like, broom this motherfucker. And eventually, it took him leaving himself. And one of the other reasons, this is delicious. One of the other reasons why Trump, was getting people who would agree to or insist on attacking him elected was because when he left New York, he went, fuck New York. New York's fucking, this never was the place. New York's not the place it was. And New Yorkers are like, fuck you. You were always a second generation rich kid. You turned your dad's construction company into a branding company. You know fuck all about your business. Clearly.
And now you're going to move to fucking Florida like some goddamn retiree from the Catskills? The fuck out of here. New York, for the record, is awesome. Chicago's better, but I'm biased. And while I'm at it, I love LA. And I could do some great work in San Francisco if I was the mayor. I'm just saying, I have some ideas. But anyways, that's another thing for another time. But New York's a great fucking city. It is. LA is a great fucking city. Totally different stylistically, the way they're laid out. You know, it's there's a lot of tribalism in New York. If you live in the village, everything you do is in the village area and you don't go uptown and nobody goes to Times Square and all that bullshit. LA is like, you can live on the west side and your dry cleaners could be in the fucking valley because they use, you know, they're eco-friendly and they have a vegan running the place. So you have to drive all the way there. That's how you know, you color forms your neighborhood in LA. You go, that's my favorite. I like this piece. I like this piece. And then you drive everywhere. In New York, you're like, I'm not getting on that fucking train. What I got within 4 blocks of my apartment? And I'm not gonna, my apartment is so expensive, I'm not paying shit for a cab. New York's a great city. And everybody's like, look at all the crime in the big blue cities. Yeah, look at all the coffee shops too. Look at all the fucking stores. Look at all the businesses. It's also where all the money is. It's also where all the fucking theater is. It's where the production is. There's more crime in big cities because there's more everything in big cities. Per capita, though, you start looking at it, Bakersfield. Anyways, just say it. P.S. Go watch fucking, like, any of the documentaries on Son of Sam and that period in New York, like mid-70s, Fort Apache, the Bronx, all that shit. Good fucking Lord. New York used to be fucking scary. But then so did the rest of the world. I mean, that's how it is. Yeah. So, meanwhile, you know, places like Skankakee, fucking Florida have more dead in it. Now, maybe the audio will be better on this. Well, let's see. Let's take a moment to. No, I'm going to do this one instead because I just gotta. Okay. Now, one of the there's several issues. God damn, there's so many clips and they're all so good. But the question I think on everybody's mind is, where do we go from here now that all of the children are growing up? While the Democrats are trying to be fucking grown-ups and actually run a country and have reasonable disagreements at times about the extent of which government can solve a problem or what social net has to be there and all that kind of stuff. You know, real adult conversations. The Republicans are fucking falling apart just right before our eyes. And today we've got a couple of very fine clips showing that. And one of them is, whoops, oh, I forgot that. That's outrageous. So, one of the things that Megyn Kelly is floating is, I guess she's kind of dealing with a dose of reality. Now, here's the thing. Megyn Kelly left Fox because she was sexually harassed repeatedly, it would seem, by Roger Ailes and his ilk at Fox News. And Donald Trump considered Roger Ailes a dear friend, and they both engaged in this kind of shit on the regular. So it is particularly bizarre to me that someone like Megyn Kelly would come to the rescue of Donald Trump at any time, which she's done a couple of times, even when she did that interview with him. Now, there could be an aspect, and I won't rule this out because she's an intellectually capable woman. She might be stupid at times, but it's not because she's not smart. And it may be that she feels like I need to get close enough to get the shiv in. That's possible. This may be one of those kind of clips, considering the title of it, How the GOP Can Swap Out Trump. Maybe this was the plan all around. And by the way, Boston Brian's in our chat. Hi, Boston Brian. Everybody follow Boston Brian on, if you do TikTok, which you shouldn't do, if you should follow him on there. If you're going to do, that's the only thing you're allowed to do. The only thing on TikTok you're allowed to do is follow Boston Brian and turn off location services on the app. Because it gets all your stuff, all of it. Gets everything. Gets everything. Everything. All right. So, but that said, Boston Brian's going to be with us on hour 2 on Friday. I think we got to then, we got to get somebody up up top as well. Maybe drift glass and blue gal. I'm just saying. We'll try. We'll figure it out. Anyways, so we got to support our friends. We got to, a rising tide lifts all boats. Middle out and bottom up. Hello, if you know what I'm saying with that.
River.
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time? So let's see what her plan is. Because this is Megyn Kelly, how the GOP can swap out Trump. It's a question mark. Shouldn't it be how can the GOP swap out Trump? Question mark. Because how the GOP can swap out Trump is not a question. I know. I'm nitpicking. But this is fucking dumb. Yeah. Well, hold on. I can't. This is.
Let's say he gets it, right?
Syphilis? Oh, he's already got that. Never mind. Sorry.
The polls are right. The Iowans go for him. The New Hampshireites go for him. He's on a roll. And he gets the nomination.
Yeah, because of the dwindling size of the Republican electorate and a bunch of people calling themselves independents because they're ashamed to have voted for him and George W. Bush.
Mm-hmm. He's like got so many delegates, he's unbeatable. You can see it's his for the taking. And then he's actually thrown in jail. I had Mark Levin on the show last week.
It's a mistake.
He's a brilliant, brilliant legal mind.
No, he isn't. All right, I take back everything I said about her being smart.
And he was saying there is a very good chance Trump could be thrown in jail, especially by Judge Chutkan.
Yeah, but that doesn't take a brilliant legal mind. He's fucking guilty. Levin is saying that because he knows Trump is guilty of the stuff he's being charged with.
In D.C., who hates Trump. I mean, maybe that's strong.
Well, they have seen the evidence.
But she doesn't like Trump. You can tell that from her prior rulings.
I don't think Trump likes her either.
Trump he's not a fan.
Of most women.
And this is D.C. that went, 92% for Joe Biden? It's the jury pool is going to be a nightmare for him. I
think he should ask for a bench trial then. Maybe he'll get one of the judges he appointed. Remember how proud he was of all the 300 plus judges?
While the January 6th charges are not very strong compared to like the documents case down in Mar-a-Lago,
which is very, 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 very strong. Just got stronger, by the way.
Jury pool is likely to be better for him.
Yes, that's the good thing. Where he's more guilty, he might have more saps willing to throw themselves under the bus and deny their oath than in the place that he's clearly guilty, but other people might go, fuck that dude.
It may be enough of a heartstring pull for a DC jury that the prosecution, Jack Smith, gets it across the line and he wins. And he wins the case against Trump. So if that happens...
Also evidence. I'm just going to throw that out. I mean, there is I know you guys have a hard time understanding what evidence is versus information. There's fucking evidence. Can I sidebar, if I may, Your Honor, may I approach the bench? Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to find this article. Menace, Trump should nuclear, let's see. Let's see. There is a... Come on, you rat. I know. Martin, let's see. Billionaire. That'll help me find the article. Yeah. This is before I get into this, if I may, I don't know. This guy's name's Chris Steyerwalt. From the Manchester Steyerwalts. Oh yes. And I guess he's got greasy neck syndrome, which is why you do the drapey cloth over your seats. I think it's a good move. I mean, you don't want to do, you don't need company to see that. And to our dear friend Megyn Kelly, if you would, Megyn, lean in, if I may. I want to show you something. Believe me, I'm not going to get
all Trumpy up in your business. We're good. This little bit right here. This is from Mark Meadows. This is information from Mark fucking Meadows, who also in his book, in a part taken out of the print version of it, detailed the plot to, the retaliation plot against Iran if Iran attacks Israel that Mark Milley gave to Trump when he asked for it, and he showed it to people who were not qualified and didn't have clearance to see it. Period. End of story. He admits to not being able to declassify it, admits that he never declassified it, says it's secret, says we should do something about that, like he could do it after he's fucking president, like you get fucking superpowers after you're president. And meanwhile, Trump reportedly gave U.S. secrets to Mar-a-Lago member after presidency. Former President Donald Trump allegedly discussed potentially sensitive information about the U.S. nuclear submarine fleet with a member of his Mar-a-Lago club a few months after leaving the White House, ABC News reported. Citing anonymous sources, the latest revelation about Trump's alleged carelessness, that's not carelessness. That's not him being careless. That's not just joking about it. I would argue that a bit of what he showed to those other people was careless, but a wanton total disregard for the classification process and the fact that he fucking ran on lock her up on, what Hillary Clinton had in her emails, which she had the right to declassify anytime. She said, send it to me over in an email. That was her saying it's fine. That piece is good. A lot of times it was remarks of a foreign leader that were public anyways, and they just cut the top off and they emailed it because it was no longer that classified thing. She is the head of her, as the Secretary of State. She had the right to declassify or classify things under state, period. And these things were never classified yet, or they were sensitive at the time, blah, blah, blah. Or they were marked automatically that, and they didn't end up having a process for classifying them further. Meanwhile, he's running on lock her up, lock her up, lock her up, right? He ran on that. Never did it because he's a fucking wuss. But the latest revelations about Trump's allegedly carelessness with classified documents information post-presidency. The member was Anthony Pratt, an Australian business billionaire who allegedly later shared the secret information with at least 45 others. Well, that's a good number. That's a good. We just blow that shit up so you guys can see that. That's right. Yeah, there we go. What the fuck? Stretch this shit out. There you go. Do you know where? Okay, there we go. With at least 45 others, you can only share it with a number of people equal to or less than the number of my presidency, including 10 Australian officials, 3 former Australian prime ministers, 11 of his own employees, and 6 journalists, according to ABC News' sources, which could be any one of 10 Australian officials, 3 former Australian prime ministers, 11 of his own employees, and 6 journalists. These were secret documents, by the way. These were classified. These were nuclear. Okay. In April 2021, after the Australian mused about how he believes Australia should buy U.S. submarines, Trump allegedly told Pratt exactly how many nuclear warheads U.S. submarines supposedly carry, as well as exactly how close to a Russian submarine they could supposedly get without being detected. Jack Smith, the Justice Department special counsel investigating Trump, reportedly learned about this during his investigation. Prosecutors and FBI agents have reportedly interviewed Pratt twice. Pratt. Another witness reportedly heard Pratt share the information with someone else only minutes after Trump told him. Pratt reportedly told investigators Trump never showed him any government documents. Forbes has reached out to Trump's office for comment. Yeah. And by the way, Trump does not have the greatest memory in the world, no matter how much he tries to bullshit people. So I'm not concerned. He probably got miles and kilometers mixed up as far as the distance you can get from a U.S. submarine, and he probably exaggerated the number of subs we have by 50 to 100%. This judge is a total liar. He says we have 50 nuclear subs. The number is closer to a billion-zy, zillion-zy times higher than that. So, Jesus Christ. So fuck him.
She could put him in jail, even pending appeal. She could say, no, I will not stay your mandate to go to prison, federal prison, pending appeal. I don't have to do that. I'm not doing that.
Right. Yes, this is true.
So he could be in jail.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. No, here we go. Let's go to playback speed. 25%. Back up a little bit. Say that slower.
Yeah. So he could be in jail.
Felt so much better that way. Yep, wasn't that good? That was nice. That was really okay. I'm back to normal. I just needed that for me. Nobody yuck my yum. All right.
That's just one. I'm just picking one case of the 4.
Yeah. It's not even the worst one.
Right.
By the time we actually vote on November, whatever, 2024, do the Republicans have, and that trial set to take place the day before Super Tuesday, March 4th. So do the Republicans at that point, when they're like, okay, I love him, but this is bullshit. Like, I can't.
Oh, look. Saucy language from Megyn Kelly. She's quoting Trump. Oh, this is bullshit. I can't.
We're going to lose if our candidate is serving a prison sentence.
That's can we just enjoy that for a moment? That they're even having to float that? This is the conversation they think Democrats are having about Joe Biden. We're not. But this is the one they're actually having about Donald Trump. Guys, can you imagine these fucking assholes standing around a table going, guys, if our candidate is in prison, it's just a bad look. It's, I don't know. I just think the optics are a little off. It's just, you see, I've been selling this whole Christian conservative law and order bullshit to my constituents for so long that they're starting to get a whiff of the fact that I might not buy it. And I'm just saying that this might be the last straw. Yeah. Right? This might be the like, wait a minute, they're always like, about me. But if I'm literally pushing somebody who's campaigning from prison, who's been legally referred to as a rapist by a judge, it's not, I'm just saying, it makes the bumper stickers a lot more complicated. It does. Megan, what do you think? Where'd she go? Fuck, I knew it. She was a mole all along.
I know I love him. I know these guys love him, but I know those suburban soccer moms who
don't want to get grabbed by the pussy by a bunch of guys trying to emulate him every time they go to the fucking mall going, I'm a star, baby. Whack! They're not fans.
Just over the last time, they're not going to love this. They were barely coming over our way to begin with because they didn't like the transing of the kids or whatever it is.
Oh, they went Republican because they didn't like the transing of the kids. I see. I was like, wait.
But they're not. So now what? Is there any option? Any option at that point?
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of Republicans that could get, like Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney could run on a ticket. You'd unite a bunch of like libertarian independents and conservatives and Republicans, the larger part of the Republican base that have tapped out because of Donald Trump. They could come in there. They would arguably agree to, it's not going to happen, is it? I'm just fucking with you. You're never going to go there. I'm just messing around.
Yeah, I mean, look, these parties are not governmental agencies. They are not governed by the law.
Yes, they are private political parties. That's the point I was making when people were saying that Joe Biden had control over the FBI while he was running for president, while he wasn't a federal employee.
They are private nonprofit entities that abide by their own rules.
Right. So they could run somebody from prison because they're fucking lunatics. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. This is also an excellent sales pitch. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for continue to make the case that Republicans might just go, fuck it. I like the fact that my guy's in prison.
Is in let's do that hypothetical. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump is imprisoned.
Right. Okay. Orange jumpsuit, So he just looks like one big fucking circus peanut, top to tails. He no longer has access to his crispy, his chicken nugget hair dye, and they won't give him a proper brush, so he has to use one of these prison combs. But then he has to, one of the guys has a beef with him in the washroom, so he tries to make a shiv out of it and ends up melting the whole thing, and it just ends up being a clump of plastic. And he's like, maybe I could throw it. And then he ends up getting fake face tattoos of tears to scare people, and everybody telling him he's got watermelon seeds on his face, and he keeps going like that, and they laugh, and then they beat him up again, which I don't think should happen. But yeah.
And he is sent to jail pending sentencing.
And he decides to start drinking for the first time in his life because he finds he has a talent for toilet wine. So he gets Don Jr. is in A block because they expect him to get out sooner, and he gets Fruit Loops. So he trades him to one guy who, in exchange for some Adderall that Eric agrees to sneak into prison in his butthole, it gets the Fruit Loops to Trump, and then Trump puts the Fruit Loops and a couple of sugar packets in his toilet, and then doesn't use the toilet for like 4 days till he's like sweaty and angry and shitty, and then he gets this ladle that he made out of a bedsheet and a coat hanger, and he starts straining the sort of remnants of the cereal out of there, some of the grit. He's good at it by now because it's been years. And it gets all but the fine paste on it, but it becomes kind of his own kind of Breaking Bad liquor, and it's got this fruity kind of after kick, and he sells it in little suppository containers with a screw top, and guys jockey for shots of it, and oftentimes he can give them away, just to keep people from trying to sex Eric. Look, he started this. I'm just filling in, for me, the blank spots in the story.
Prior to Election Day, could the Republican National Committee take the nomination away from him? Yeah, they certainly could.
We know this.
They have extraordinary power. The members of that committee, who are, by the way, elected by Republicans across the country, they're chosen either, some of them directly elected on the primary ballot.
They're selected
to be committee men and committee women, and some chosen in state conventions, but they're chosen, and they can convene, and they have extraordinary power to change rules and blow
superpowers
stuff up to do that.
Yes. Imagine this. Think about this for a second. Stop. In the name of Trump. Think about this for a second. This motherfucker is having to make the material case as to why the delegates and the organization of the RNC would have to take an extraordinary step to deny the nomination to a convicted felon who has been found guilty in civil court of rape, the popular nomination in their party. Listen to this. Listen to this shit. He's having to game this out. Look, I've heard a bunch of people going, what if Joe Biden gets sick because he's old and somebody has to step in, and what happens? Yeah. None of that involves anybody having to oh no, we're going to have to push Marianne Williamson out of the way because she's next in line, or RFK Jr. That's not going to happen. It just isn't. Kamala Harris runs. Gavin Newsom steps down as governor of California, becomes her vice president, and then rolls into the presidency afterwards. That's how it works. I'm telling you. That's how it works. That's how it works. And then we have we have 16/20 24 years of uninterrupted Democrats in the White House. I'm fine. Because it will roll into somebody, whoever Newsom brings in is his vice president, because we're not stupid. We don't put in these placeholder Dan Quayle types who aren't capable of doing the fucking job. But this asshole is having to actually game out. This is a reality they might have to deal with.
Question is, would they have the political will to do it?
Yeah, because 50% of their party wants this asshole, and the other 50% will pick anyone else, but they don't know who. You don't have a political party in that case, dum-dum.
Because if the Republican rank and file was sticking with Trump, you can't abandon our guy at the moment of his greatest need. He needs us now more than ever.
Yeah. Please stick with that. Yeah. Maggots, run Trump from jail. On a Nelson Mandela storyline. Come here. I'm not even judging maggots that love Trump right now. I'm just telling you, this is a loser, just like he is. Sorry, I was trying not to. You do this, you're fucked. It's over. You won't have a presidential candidate and arguably you're going to have to start the Tea Party or some sort of conservative movement party, because this will destroy the GOP if they try to do this.
In his fight, and you cannot walk away from him.
Yeah, you can.
Who on that committee wants to be the one that said, yeah, I hear you, but we got to dump him? I know you.
Chris Christie and anybody who's around him and some of his donors and all that those kind of folks. And there's enough of these soccer moms and other people that would jump over if they thought the Republican Party was reasonable at all because of the openings given to them by Democratic slacktivists around like extreme trans rights issues and that kind of stuff. That would be self-identity up to the second you're put into a women's prison, even though you were identifying as a man up until the time you were found guilty of rape, that kind of stuff. They view that as like, oh, fuck that. So that would be their one out. You give them that one. And the illusion of the open border, which is going to be dead by next year anyway, so I don't even know why I brought it up.
Voted for him. And I know that you want us to stand with him.
But you're stupid.
But
you're big dum-dums. You're big, stupidy dum-dums.
We're gonna have to dump him right now.
We should have dumped him a long fucking time ago.
Let me just say one thing as a level setting premise. The Republican Party is so divided that I don't know how they win a general election.
You know what? I wouldn't call it an orgasm because it's more political than that. But this is a good one. I don't even smoke. I might need a cigarette after this fucking episode. Whew, that was good. So now it doesn't sound as good coming from this guy as it does from Megyn Kelly, but I would, if I may,
that I don't know how they win a general election. I've never seen a party that hates itself as much as this party hates.
Oh my God, this is good. This is, I'm starting to think Lindsey Graham was fucking right. If we elect Donald Trump, we're gonna be destroyed and we're gonna deserve it. Yeah, that's exactly this. Jesus Christ. Politigasm. That might be the name of my new. That'll be the Politigasm is the name of my set as of now. Thanks very much, Holly, for my sexy liberal set. Welcome to the Politigasm.
Yes,
itself.
You're so right.
You're so right. Oh, yes.
Just at each other's throats. So
it's almost as if, and follow me on this. It's almost as if I don't know. Somebody said something about a house divided itself against itself cannot stand or whatever. I don't remember whether he was a Republican or Democrat, but somebody said that in the past. But also, it's almost as if a party that divided and that fucked up shouldn't really be in charge of anything that requires function and consensus. Because we got a nice country here, and we want it run well, and we need the government to handle certain things that are too big for the average citizen and outside the interest scope of corporations, let's say, or businesses, because, you know, building roads past their own driveway doesn't make fiscal sense to them, I guess. So we kind of need a government, and we want it actually to work. And I'm just going to float the idea, if I may, that a group of people that can't even make their own fucking party work shouldn't be in charge of running the country that requires them to govern for people who aren't even in their ideological sphere. Is that good? I don't know. What? Right, exactly, CSL. What? Maybe this is, dare I say, like, I don't know, running for office from prison, disqualifying. Just off the top of my head.
In a scenario where Donald Trump gets the nomination,
in a divided party that hates itself, because only a party that hates itself would nominate Donald Trump. Okay, I'm with you.
Quarter of the Republican Party is very soft in their support, right? They're very soft in their support. They're anti-MAGA. They hate him. They don't want that. Okay, flip it.
Why would that be? It wouldn't have to do with the fact that they are either women, have daughters or wives, or are even married to immigrants or something like that, or just have a general sense of empathy and think that, you know, conservative solutions are better than others just because they actually do want to solve the problem. Couldn't be any of that, would it? Nah, it's just personal.
Around
yes.
Nikki Haley, the apotheosis of Nikki Haley, and she pulls it off, right? She slingshots past Trump. She wins in Iowa, goes on, gets a win in her home state of South Carolina, and gets into the convention and barely wins. Are those MAGA voters going to say, it was a tough fight, but you won?
But brown lady, you're our gal. Hold on one second. I know I have it written here somewhere. Is it in this bag? Hold on. No, it's over here. Give me 1 second. I know it's here somewhere. Let's see. I'm trying to do. Is that the? Yeah. Okay. Here it is. I wrote it down on this spread. It says no.
Fair and square, and now I will come and support you and your globalist elite no, they will say,
Jesus Christ, your globalist Indian South Asian foreign lady, foreigner lady, foreigner. I don't know what's worse, lady or foreigner. Both are bad, probably lady. I don't like you.
I will burn in hell before I will vote for Nikki Haley. I'll be.
Jesus Christ. You know how fucking nuts you have to be to think that? Over Donald Trump. This isn't, Jesus Christ. This is not them going, you know, like, I don't even know if there's a natural successor to Ronald Reagan or, you know, if Reagan had a son that was like cut from the same cloth, he was the, you know, he was, you know, in the true Kennedy lineage in that regard. It was everything Reagan was and more, young and vibrant, but a devout Christian. And he's running, and these motherfuckers are like, I'm voting for Trump over that fucking guy.
Voting for RFK Jr., and you can go pound sand. So,
by the way, did you hear that? Yeah. RFK Jr. said a little bit ago, I think I would take more votes from Trump than I would from Biden. He's right. Also, the Republicans have just announced, and somebody from the Trump campaign said yesterday that if he runs independent, he's going to be a huge target because they're more in favor. They're more worried about him taking votes from them than Democrats, and that's exactly what he would be. RFK Jr. would be the Ralph Nader of the Republican Party.
That's the fundamental. What you saw in the House is the fundamental problem that the Republican Party has. They hate each other.
Which is what, I mean, that's what you want in a group that represents. So that represents Republican values. How? Oh, just party of hate, I guess. My bad.
And when you hate the Democrats they're not excited about Joe Biden, but they don't hate.
I'm excited about Joe Biden. I love the guy. I think he's lovely. I don't give a fuck that he has a stutter he's worked on. I don't give a shit that he's old. He's spry and he knows the issues and he puts people in charge that can do their fucking job. He's a masterful CEO of the Oval Office. He understands these things and he's got a depth of ethics and he wants this world to be better for his fucking grandkids and he actually pays attention to and loves his fucking family. I fucking love that guy. I don't even have to agree with him all the time. I got to anybody have a family member that they don't agree with, that they agree with all the time? All the time. All the time. All the time. And twins don't count. Not that twins don't count, but twins in this scenario, you know what I mean?
Joe Biden. They're not angry at Joe Biden. They're depressed because he's so old and he seems so feeble. And they want somebody new and they want something different, but they'll vote.
We don't want something different. Believe me, if we had a youth ray and we could shoot it at Joe Biden, fucking A.
Vote for him.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for him. I will vote for him. I'm going to vote for him. I like him. I'm going to vote for him. I think Kamala Harris is doing a great job too. They're fine. I'm not looking for a savior. I want somebody who can fucking politic like a goddamn adult.
That's the thing. So
yeah, that is the thing. Joe Biden's old, but we love him and we will vote for him again because he's a decent dude trying to do a decent job. And everybody was saying he's the second coming of Jimmy Carter. A lot of us went, good. He's just the Catholic Jimmy Carter. That's all. He's just got more kids. Meanwhile, you assholes are defending the idea of Donald Trump running from fucking prison after a judge said that under the general understanding, he's a rapist. And he's going to lose the second E. Jean Carroll case. And the fact that he's in the E. Jean Carroll case and he's still a viable candidate for a conservative Christian party is an absurdity. It means it's all just a lie to start with.
The more establishment Republicans, they will vote for Trump. I think they will vote for Trump if they have to. They might have to hold their noses to do it, but they would definitely rather vote for Trump than lose to a Democrat.
Yeah. But they know too many people are going to hit the skids. It doesn't matter. There aren't enough of them. It does not matter.
Core MAGA, you cannot say the same.
No, they will shiv anybody who they see as a replacement, which I fucking think is hilarious because Trump ain't going to be the guy. Sorry. They're going to have to suck it up. And by the way, the problem is whoever it is going to have to try to out MAGA Trump, which is what DeSantis is the only one who's really tried to do that because it requires you being a fucking moron as a politician. And they hate his guts because they think he's disloyal. And Trump's already shivved all these people so that he can get himself to the front of the line because he thinks being president is the only thing that will keep him out of prison, which he'll already be in.
It's Trump or bust. Trump or die.
Right.
So the party's going to die and bust. Yeah.
And so the Republicans really have no choice.
And that's America, I think, really. Can you imagine? Hey, Democrats, guess what? We have what I would call the tyranny of options. We got a lot of fucking good people. Seriously. You could peel off dozens of fucking people. That if they were the titular head of our party and they ran for office, good Lord, even ones on the fringe of it that are not completely that people are aware of, they don't have the kind of name recognition. We got a huge bench, a deep bench of people that we could run. It ain't a problem. As a matter of fact, it's about order. We're looking at people who are gonna age into their potential for the presidency over the next 50 years. 30, but you know what I mean? People are going to be living longer, older. I'm just working that way. But still, yeah, we have tons of people. Yeah, if Jimmy Carter was 10 years younger,
Motherfucker, he still got one last term. You could run him again, and I'd be like, I love that fella. Let's do it. It's about time they had somebody who lived his values in the White House again. We got a redo over Reagan. I'm just saying, there's so many. Vote for President Trump first to honor make America live in this disaster. Yeah, we're not in a disastrous mess, Roberta. But nice try. And by the way, I'm sorry you're holed up in your house. We have a couple. And by the way, trolls, maggots, welcome to the show. I don't want to make you feel bad that you are backing a rapist and a guy who shows our national secrets to rich guys at his country club that he lives at part of the time over the year, where he hid national secrets in the shitter behind an unlocked bathroom door. That's okay. That's your burden to bear, not mine, and I'm not laying that on you. But I am saying that he's a fucking pig. Materially, not like you think Joe Biden's a hair sniffer and that's because you've seen pictures of him leaning down to say something to somebody or say congratulations to a kid, and you're like, there he is sniffing hair again. And you're like, what the fuck? Trump actually was in a court of law. They have DNA evidence of his semen on the woman's clothing. And he denies even being there. So let's just understand he's a liar and a rapist. So get the fuck out of here. Quit it. Stop. And the fact that you need to back him just shows what shit shape the party is in. They're absolutely right. The Republican Party is in shit shape. The fact that you have no fallback. Because here's the thing. If tomorrow we found out, and it's not going to happen, but I'll run this game by you. We found out that Joe Biden was every bit as corrupt as they say he is, and the committee found a smoking gun, and Joe Biden had to step down. Kamala Harris is going to step into the presidency, run again, and win. For us, we don't have a problem with that. There's nothing tying her to any of this Hunter Biden laptop stuff. Never has been. She's perfectly capable. She's been through this. She's been sitting by his side during all this stuff. She knows what it's like to be in there. She's ready to do the job anyway, or she wouldn't have been elected vice president, because we actually believe the concept that the vice president should be as capable as the president. She could absolutely run. And then we've got a fucking half dozen other people who we know are going to run, who are totally capable, and we're all comfortable with being president. Meanwhile, you fuckers are building Jonestown in a democracy that fought a war against the king so that we could pick our own leaders, so that we don't have supreme leaders, so that we don't have to kiss anybody's fucking ring. The fact that you guys have to defend Trump this far into it means you have no one else. No one else. And the fact that if anybody else even tries to step up, you fuckers want to shiv this person also tells me no one needs you anywhere near the levers of power, because it's about absolute control and not governance. And again, that's Putin level shit.
Here, if Trump wants it, if Trump is saying, I still am viable and want it, I'm not ready to pass the baton to DeSantis or anybody else.
He's not going to pass. He's never going to pass the baton. He won't pass the baton to his own fucking kids. He wouldn't pass the baton of the Trump organization to his own sons. He could have permanently stepped down as the head of the Trump organization or as the CEO, but he put it in a trust because he doesn't even trust his own fucking sons to run the goddamn thing. And his daughter's not stupid enough to do it.
The Republicans have no choice if they want to win the general. But
yeah, then they're not going to win the general. Donald Trump doesn't win a general election. He didn't win last time. He's not going to win this time.
But to make it Trump.
I'd put it.
Rubber biscuit.
Well, here's what poll after poll after poll says about the state of the Republican Party. About 35% of the Republican Party is Trump.
Mm-hmm. Hear that? 35%. And they're all online.
and a bunch of them are not real accounts.
Mega, massive MAGA. And about 25% is anti-Trump. And my friend, pollster Whit Ayers coined a term, which is really good here. He says you've got
floaters. I call them floaters because they're presented with a shitty choice and they make it.
Always Trump and never Trump. And then you've got always Republican. You have all of these voters who just want a Republican. They just want the Republican Party to win. They just want the Republican Party to succeed. Those are the people, the rank and file in the House, who were saying, maybe I'm not in love with Kevin McCarthy, but like, just stop this, like, just move on. And the way that
that's so rude.
But you got to understand, Matt Gaetz wants to destroy the Republican Party. So does Marjorie Taylor Greene. So does Donald Trump. They don't want it to be a party. They don't want to be amongst people who pick leaders, even in a Republican system. They want a fiefdom. They want to be dictators of an ideology that they singularly believe, and anybody else who doesn't is a heretic and gets... And by the way, we have some of those on our side as well. We just don't put any of them in positions of leadership for this very fucking reason.
A way that a person could win the Republican nomination would basically be get to the point where they have a majority of those always Republicans in a scenario just as you described, where they say, hey, Trump did a bunch of good stuff, but he's a loose cannon and he's brought a lot of this on himself. And
he's describing the Nikki Haley strategy over the last
can't
and
drag
like he's
this
in prison
into a general
now.
election. Yeah, and he may be in prison. So it's just too much. So what you would see would be intensification among the core group, right? That 15 or 20% that have been with him from the beginning, and the wilder, the crazier, the better. They like it more because it's more evidence that he's fighting the system, and the harder they come after him, the more evidence that he is he's like the John Dillinger character. Like,
no, let me give you a better example. These assholes think that drowning is swimming, and that what makes Trump a great swimmer is him splashing the water and making a bunch of waves and all this kind of stuff, when in reality, he's not fucking swimming. He's just drowning. And anybody who gets near him, he will take them down with him. They think swimming is the bigger splash, the bigger mess, the bigger, waves in the water. We had, let's see, I was just going by and heard all this, it's foul mouth, F-A-U-L, or F-O-U-L, beg your pardon, F-O-U-L, not F-A-L-E, foul mouth cussing, and decided to stop. Why were you going by? I'm gone. I can see why you're voting for Biden. That's the Irish version of this, is the lady. And I appreciate you coming by. You were a Democrat, now you're an independent that wants to live in a decent constructional country. Well, then why are you against the guy who got an infrastructure bill passed and Trump couldn't? Why are you for the guy that got us out of Afghanistan when Trump ran on getting us out of Afghanistan and didn't? Why are you going against someone who was, quite frankly, gave the largest tax cut in American history, but half of it, the corporate half, became permanent, and the one for citizens had a sunset clause in it? Why did he get Mexico to pay for the wall? Maybe it's just that you like how he treated Gold Star families and John McCain, because John McCain didn't vote for him, so he's not a real war hero. Because in a democracy, your status as a veteran and your value as a wounded veteran only matters if you vote my way. I don't fucking live like that. And I think anybody who does is fucking gross. And if that's what makes you an independent, then I would just say you're politically homeless because you don't actually have any values. The reason, Roberta, that you think that way is because you have not come to terms with your own values, and you do not stand by them. They are, it's fucking soup. How about that? So anyways, goodbye, and thanks for stopping by. And, you're welcome anytime. So, where were we? Oh, yeah. Also, swearing is not foul. It is exasperation talk. It's only foul if you're using visceral descriptives as an attack on another person in that regard. You can argue that non-swear words can be foul-mouthed, and saying, "Hey, dickhead," to a friend of yours isn't being foul-mouthed at all. It's a matter of semantics. But again, I'm a free speech guy, so where were we?
He's taking it. He is fighting the man. So those people would intensify in their support.
The man. He is the man. He was born rich. He lived in fucking opulence his whole fucking life, and it was all a lie. He got loans he didn't deserve while other people were scrounging. He declared bankruptcy 11 times, got it 4 times, and bailed himself out repeatedly.
But other people would start to peel off, and then the dynamic shifts. I don't know how.
Here's I don't know how. Democrats, there are enough Democrats in the country. We don't need 100% of our party to vote to get our president in office. We have enough people. We have a large enough party of human beings in the country, popular vote. That's why we keep winning the popular vote, to win. We are also increasingly growing in areas where they're the swing states, specifically the purpling of these what formerly red states or blue states that are getting more entrenched in that regard because of things like Roe and the Dobbs decision, for example. Not to mention the just kind of abject bullshit cruelty. And we've got enough conservative-leaning Democrats to answer the conservative issues that, about the border and other stuff that people are really wanting to hear, like sound solutions from another perspective on. Again, diversity is your strength. Diversity doesn't mean finding somebody of a different color who already speaks like you. It means getting people together under the umbrella of an agreed set of principles, meaning that democracy counts, everybody should have their say, but then once we decide on something, we need to move in that direction. We need to find the best solutions, and those will rise at the top, and that's what we're working towards. It doesn't mean like everybody faces out from the circle. Everybody faces in. That's how the Democrats have always attempted to work. I think the Republicans arguably used to try to work this way. I don't know because I was never one, but that seems to be how parties used to work in general, so I would expect that. Now you've got half the fucking party with their backs to the circle staring at Trump.
I don't know how the Republicans can beat Joe Biden, but I also don't know how Joe Biden can win because he is so old, and everybody knows how old Joe Biden is.
All right.
Yeah, now she's going to do an ad for something on her George O'Keeffe backgrounds. This one I called this is the background that triggered Trump's comments about Megyn Kelly. This is her. I call it her whatever. Yeah, old isn't going to do it. Jimmy Carter's fucking old, but if you were asking him to make decisions about stuff, he's fine. Does anybody think that, how about this? He's 99, 89 years old, Jimmy Carter, fixing houses for, working for Habitat for Humanity, giving interviews, talking about issues, totally cogent. Do you think any of us have a problem with him? I don't know if these fuckers know this, especially the group that always goes, we need a fighter in there. You don't actually fight with other leaders, right? It's a lot of, quite frankly, it's a lot of signatures. If anything, the one thing you need the strength to do is sign your name or just make a fucking X. Hell, you can get a stamp. If you're strong enough to lift the stamp that's your signature, you're good. Everything else is mental. So, but I don't know why they think it's divisive. I don't know why they would think that. Because according to this lady, Matt Gaetz is right. Liz Wheeler, who's on The First, which I think is this network that is this the network that Bill O'Reilly's on? If it is, my message to Liz is do your show remotely. Okay. Just saying. Anybody who has to pay $33 million to a woman to keep her mouth shut because of the sexual assault that happened against her did something so fucking monstrous that they shouldn't be anywhere near a woman ever again. Just saying. Bill O'Reilly, $33 million to the woman he sexually assaulted repeatedly to keep her mouth shut. And that was, I'm fairly certain Fox was paying her off up to a certain point, up to like $9 million. And they're like, we're not paying this anymore. And he had to pick up the slack. This woman probably ended up getting $50 million for whatever fucking Bill O'Reilly keeping her chained in his basement for a year and a half and beating her with reeds or whatever the fuck he did. Whatever it was hard time and or, career destruction or both. So anyways, Matt Gaetz is, she thinks Matt Gaetz is right. That you should be able to dose a 17-year-old and fly her to Georgia under false pretenses using a fake ID made by your best buddy so that you can have sex with her while she's under the influence of ecstasy. That or, no, something else. She means something else, I hope.
It's also interesting to me to watch. So I sit there on Twitter oftentimes when...
excuse me, it's not Twitter anymore. It's pronounced shitter. The X is pronounced the same way that Xi Jinping does it. She insisted when he allowed Elon Musk to build the Gigafactory in Shanghai and keep it open during quarantine when everybody else's businesses were shut down. He was allowed to keep it open, but on one condition, that he pronounced the X in Xi, in shitter like the X in Xi Jinping. Just so you know.
When these events are unfolding, such as Matt Gaetz making a motion to vacate the Speaker of the House, ousting McCarthy. And I sit there and I watch people's reactions on Twitter just to see what people are saying, to see how people feel about things.
Yeah, that's usually what social media is kind of for, actually. I don't know that you can actually say that you're getting a real take, but...
I am not huge on the hot takes. I like to collect information first. I like to analyze things, just be a little more methodical about it.
Totally. That's why I go straight to shitter and see how people are reacting.
So I'm not always the first person to send out a tweet about something. And it's interesting to me
that in my book, Hide Your Children,
when a lot of conservatives reacted so furiously to the fact that, they called Matt Gaetz a showboat. They said that he's a loose cannon. They said he's just looking for clicks and TV hits, and he never met a microphone he didn't want to be used to interview him, yada, yada.
Never met a microphone he didn't want to be used to interview him. Okay. Yeah, we'll write that one down. That's a new colloquialism. We'll keep that one. It's a little wordy. Might need to pare it down a bit, but sure.
Yada. But it's weird to me how furious a lot of conservatives are at Matt Gaetz for...
Because, what's the big deal? We just don't have a speaker. There's no one on deck. There's going to be a lot of fighting over it again. It's going to take 9 votes because everybody else isn't going to agree to this bullshit. And we went through this already in January, and it was the single most embarrassing thing. And this is the first time since the 1800s that anybody has been voted out by their party like this. And that's only because John Boehner resigned before they could do it, but whatever.
McCarthy, when we didn't hear a word from most of these conservatives, when 18 House Republicans refused to pass an amendment that would defund drag shows and Pride Month at the Department of Defense.
Well, you do realize that they've been doing funny drag shows at the very least in the military. Go watch some old Monty Python episodes. That's been around for a long time. Secondarily, usually that's you can't defund them specifically. It's also a free speech thing. Oddly enough, you got guys fighting to the death for free speech, and then you're going, okay, guys, this is your entertainment budget to do whatever you want to do, kind of fuck around or whatever, but you can't do this, this, or this. Really? Why not? Because mainly it's because women are weak, and men who dress like women are trying to be weak, and we're trying to make you're weak, but we're trying to make you less weak, and dressing weak makes you weak. So if women, basically women weak is why. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. We're having a women week. When did the women get here? No, you're misunderstanding me. Fuck.
Do we not see a little disconnect in priorities here?
Yes, we not see a little disconnect. I think you're right.
Just a little problem in how we're directing our anger.
Hi, stupid. One little bill that was just basically a promo bill for a small wing of the Republican Party versus you don't have a fucking speaker right now. The House of Representatives does not have an actual speaker. They have a speaker pro tem because these assholes, this one guy voted him the fuck out, and they voted with Democrats to get rid of him. Because the Democrats are never going to vote for any of the idiots that they put forward because they're fucking morons. So, until I got news for you. If the Republicans put forward in the House somebody who was like a moderate Republican from a reasonable purple district or whatever as the speaker, enough Democrats would vote for him to make up the gap in Republican votes, and that person would just be speaker during this term. And it would probably be a period of bizarrely comfortable bipartisanship. It would. But McCarthy's not that guy. And he lied about Democrats on Sunday, not getting the CR passed when it was because of them that it got passed.
Or what we think is the biggest threat to our agenda.
You don't have an agenda. You don't have a speaker. There is no agenda.
There's a little disconnect here. And I too, one of people's main concerns is, okay, Matt Gaetz, you did it, you accomplished it, okay, you held McCarthy accountable, but what's the plan now? I also want a plan. I hope Matt Gaetz has a plan. I don't know if he has a plan.
He does not have a plan. Some people just want to watch the well burn.
Or not. I hope and pray that he does, or that he's coming up with one. I hope we don't jump out of the frying pan and into the fire, which is also what some people are concerned about. This is a valid
I don't know why.
Concern. But
yeah, it would be a valid concern. A concern you might want to voice before you ended up in the frying pan, I think, first. Yeah?
let's not pretend, as we are waiting for Matt Gaetz's plan, let's not pretend that McCarthy...
Really? Really? You have a physical turnover screen up there and it's making all that goddamn noise in your...
plan was good. Like, what was McCarthy's plan? Give more money to Zelensky in Ukraine? Come on. Come on. So let's back up for a second. Let's talk...
Yeah, okay, first of all, no, let's not back up. We got to stop for a second. What the fuck is with this wish banner bullshit that you have on your fucking screen instead of just a flat screen? That's more expensive than a flat screen, and it's noisy as shit. And it sounds like someone is just shuffling cards in the background every time you use it. I'm just saying you could do the same graphic on a screen and no one would know the difference.
About what led to this, because this helps us order what we should do.
Yeah, something, I think I know what led to this. It led to the Republicans running as the head of their party, a guy who thought you could nuke hurricanes, that it thought he could change the trajectory of hurricanes with a fucking Sharpie, that thought that meeting with Vladimir Putin without note takers present, by the way, U.S. note takers present, there were Russian note takers present, on multiple occasions was a great idea. Sharing nuclear secrets and military secrets with members of his fucking club in Florida was a good idea. I mean, a myriad of things. And who's apparently spent all this money to build this fucking wall, and it didn't help. If the wall, if the border is worse after the wall was constructed, what the fuck was the wall for? I feel like Anton Chigurh, you know, if the rule led you to where you are right now, what and how good, how worthwhile was the rule? Or whatever the fuck he says, call it. Call it. The border was made in 1923. It's been traveling 75 years just to get here. Call it.
From here, how we should think about this. So McCarthy was ousted as speaker because back when there was this standoff during the original speaker elections, Matt Gaetz...
Yeah, it's been so long. I don't even remember. Run us through it again. What happened? Because this was years ago / January. These motherfuckers couldn't get through a year. They couldn't have a speaker for a fucking year. They didn't make it the year.
Refused to vote for McCarthy. They needed Matt Gaetz's vote. So he negotiated a hardline deal with McCarthy that allowed any member of Congress...
A dumb line. I would say a dumb line. I don't think it's hard because it obviously gave. The line broke. It was dumb.
...to file a motion to vacate the speakership if the speaker violated terms of this agreement that Gaetz had negotiated. So the...
Yes. So let me get this straight. Your party allowed a tiny minority of your party to set rules for the speaker that if he does the will of the rest of the party, over 190 other members, if he sides with them, ever, this little group can scuttle his speakership. And you don't understand why we're concerned that about you guys being in control of an actual democracy? Are you out of your fucking mind?
preface here is, remember, McCarthy, in his desperate bid to be speaker, agreed to this agreement.
Right. Because he had to, because you guys don't have a real mandate. You have, the only reason they have a lead, any kind of majority in the House is because of redistricting. Which is, by the way, all of those redistricted areas are going to bounce back the other way in the next election. The voters are like, they're having a buyer beware moment. They're voting on caveat emptor. Bang.
To this negotiation that any member of the House could file a motion to vacate the speakership. So
yes, because 190 of them wouldn't even think to do that because they want to actually serve their constituents or do their fucking job.
You shouldn't act like this is something he didn't agree to the terms of.
He not only didn't he have a choice, but no one would be the speaker at that time. We'll see if anybody buys it. If Scalise goes through this shit, which I doubt. If anybody else who wants to run it, even Jim Jordan, they would agree to this, or that they wouldn't get backup from the Democrats to make sure that they don't get kicked out. It's absurd. But no one was going to be able to get the seat. No, it wasn't just McCarthy. No one was going to be speaker in this new class of the Congress if they didn't bow to this bullshit, which is nuts.
At the very beginning, he did. But this is the moment that the votes were cast and the speakership, or that Speaker McCarthy was formally fired from the position. Take a look.
On this vote.
Also, we saw this already. I don't care.
It's really not that big of a deal. If you ask the average American, they don't know who the Speaker of the House is. So again,
Jesus Christ. This lady is a cheerleader for the Republican Party. And her response to them kicking out their own speaker in 27 Scaramucci's is that nobody even really cares. Nobody knows who the speaker is. Then nobody even knows what they do. You know, when they find out, when the government shuts down because nobody's passing anything, because nobody will bring anything to the floor, because the pro tem can't get his caucus in order, and nobody has agreed on that he has any distinct power to bring things to the floor, and he decides to use his newfound connection and temporary positioning to carve off giant pork belly projects for his fucking district in exchange for like basically handing the gavel to somebody else. Ugh. I mean, I don't know that we're going to find anything else worth listening to there. And we've got so much else to cover. And I knew it would happen one day. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. I think that shows taste and breeding on your part. And welcome, everybody, especially maggots and trolls. It's nice to see some of you in here. Because here's the thing. I joke with you. I call you names. But it's all in good fun. Think of it as a mosh pit. I'm not really fighting. I'm just swinging my arms around to the music. But that said, if you get in the way, just be careful. Anyways, and in the meantime, I appreciate that you are at least confronting the fact that on occasion, on the regular, I will point out not just that some of the people you listen to are fucking wrong, but how they're wrong, and specifically how they're wrong. Now, one of the easiest people to do that with is this little fella right here, this young whippersnapper right here, who's the U-boat commander, who apparently has some regular health issues these days, most of them nasal, and I'm going to go with sugar. Too much sugar, not good. Those giant Sonic drinks that he's drinking all the fucking time. I don't know if it's root beer. I don't know if it's Mountain Dew. Whatever it is, it's bad. Glenn, fix your fucking self. Stop it. And this is not somebody who's trying to, force you to eat fucking broccoli. I'm on the carnivore diet. I don't even eat any vegetables at all right now. Haven't since January, except on a couple of occasions because I visited family and I'm a good guest. But, this is not good. It's not healthy. But the border hypocrisy is the last straw for Glenn. Oh my God, we're keeping Venezuelans and we're sending Germans home. I think that's what he's talking about.
This story I just told you about, I'm
I'm over it. I can't.
I've hit my limit.
Good. All right. Well, cool. So you're shutting down the blaze and you're done. Everybody, congratulations. We celebrate the last day of the blaze. Glenn's done. He's over it.
My limit. No tolerance for this.
Yeah, but you're not a particularly tolerant person, so I don't know why that's weird. Yeah, is it quiet? Hold on one second. How about this?
I mean, I really feel like this story about this German family that's been going on now for 15 years.
So the Operation Paperclip 2?
They have come to America because they were actually religiously persecuted by Germany.
Scientologists? Or what are they? They believe in, they're members of the Thule Society?
That's why we are a refuge. That's why.
Why? You come here in the first place. It's our country is a catcher's mitt for the religious fanatics of the world.
Send us your poor, your tired, your huddled masses.
Yeah, it didn't say the religious. Well, I guess if you're, if you're not in the rich church, you'd probably be poor. So
yearning to breathe free.
Right, not your hyper orthodox, female genital mutilation experts. I guess. Not that that's what these German people are, but I'm just saying it's important there's distinction.
That is a challenge to Europe. You send me the people you say can't make it.
Or you're tired of having around. I mean, you could argue that to some degree, this is the whole Trump, like they're emptying out their prisons. Maybe these people were put in prison for their religious beliefs. Maybe they were like, Branch Davidians.
And you watch them flourish here.
Flourish? Okay. Or flourish. Sure.
That's what that means. Not just have everybody overrun our borders.
Yeah, not poor people. Oh, fuck. Not that it does say poor first, but not mostly poor. Well, tired, huddled masses. But yeah, they're okay. Not just poor, tired, huddled people, but also well-to-do religious fanatics that would fund the blaze.
And chaos?
Well, I mean, they're not bringing chaos. They're actually trying to live under a functioning system, I think. But
AOC compared what's happening on our border to Ellis Island.
Yeah. It's there is a couple of differences. One is computerized, and we don't need that many French speakers.
I wish there was an Ellis Island.
There is an Ellis Island. It's we don't use it for that anymore because we've got a lot of airports. This is you gotta understand Ellis Island pre-airplane. I'm just saying. People arrive. Some of them land is direct flight. And also there's no ocean on the southern border where that air because so no island that in maybe Cuba, the Bahamas, perhaps.
We knew who was coming into the country.
No, you didn't. Hold on. Stop. Does this motherfucker think that anybody in the fucking 1700s, 1800s, 1910, that you had photo fucking ID? That the people who showed up here, asshole, my middle name is McGee, M-A-G-E-E, which is an Irish surname, okay? But it turns out it's actually from a Scottish family because of the pronunciation of McHugh. M-A-C-G-O-U-G-H. McGee. So they wrote down McGee. That's how they that part of my family fucking showed up here. What do you think they were taking DNA fucking samples? Nobody knew who anybody was. Jesus Christ. Who is, oh God. One of the best parts of the Elvis movie is the fact that they point out that nobody knew who the fucking Colonel Tom Parker really was. That more than likely he was a Nazi or a Nazi sympathizer who'd gotten rich through Jew gold that he had met, and he'd scooped up some of it and fled to the United States and lived under an assumed fucking name. Tons of people did that. What the fuck are you talking about? This asshole thinks we had TSA pre in 1875.
We sent some back.
Yeah, because they were, they were all shitty. They were dented. We got a refund.
This is not Ellis Island. And now you have a Christian family, and I don't care what color they are. If they were from Africa and the story was the same, if they were from Venezuela and the story was the same, I would be saying the same thing.
No, you wouldn't, because you don't give a shit about the Christians fleeing Syria. You think this motherfucker cares if Alawites fleeing the fucking Syrian conflict or out of Iraq flee to the United States to be religiously safe? Get the fuck out of here. Garbage. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on. Let me see. This is annoying me because they don't put the fucking story in. German family returned 15 years, something like that. All right. I'm going to go straight to Christianity Today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the article. This is the story. This is where we're going to learn together. Get up here, you fuckers. Let me lean this over here, drive this story out. Come on. Bring it up here. Here's the story. Let me try to drag this out so I can show it to you in a second. I wouldn't care if they were German or Christian or fucking homeschoolers. German homeschoolers face deportation after 15 years in the U.S. The Christian family says their status has been revoked without warning. A Christian family who fled Germany to be able to homeschool their 7 children say they now face deportation 15 years after arriving in the United States and fighting for asylum. The Romikes celebrated what their supporters called an incredible victory that can only be credited to our Almighty God in 2014 when they were allowed to remain in the U.S. after years of court appeals. Their lawyers said the decision meant the family could stay without worries in the future. Yet earlier this month, Tennessee residents Ewan Hannelore Romeke said they learned their deferred action status had been revoked during a check-in with immigration officials. They said their family was directed to obtain German passports and to prepare to self-deport by October 11th with no prior warning or explanation. The Homeschool Legal Defense Association, an evangelical group that backed them when they came to the U.S., has launched a campaign asking for the government to reinstate their deferred action status. Their 4 oldest children are now adults, and 2 have married Americans, so they're going to be able to stay. The Romekes continue homeschool, and by the way, they're just going to have German fucking passports. And their kids live here, and then they'll have to apply for U.S. citizenship coming through that way because they're not really, because you can homeschool your kids in Germany. Continue homeschool. The deportation to Germany will fracture their families while exposing the Romekes to renewed persecution in Germany, where homeschooling is still illegal in almost every case. Well, there's that word, isn't it? That's the word, I guess. In Bissingen, located outside of Stuttgart, Germany, the Romekes decided to educate their children at home because they opposed public school curricula, including sex education, evolution, and fairy tales, on religious grounds. Homeschooling is not legal in the country, though enforcement on the ban can vary by district. In 2006, parents were threatened, fined $9,000, and 3 of their kids escorted to school by police when they refused to send them, according to a court brief. They moved to the U.S. in 2008. Now, before we move forward, where's Germany? And what countries is it next to that possibly allow homeschooling? France. I think you can probably homeschool in the UK. Nearby countries. Countries on the border of Germany that allow homeschooling. So, how many people think that these people need to go to the United States to homeschool their fucking kids? And do they think that they keep that standard when they talk about people coming from Venezuela who should have gone to the nearest country and applied for asylum in Brazil or Guatemala or wherever they were, whatever the adjoining country where they were fleeing a country, they should have gone to the next neighboring country and apply for asylum there instead of coming all the way to the United States? what you have here is a bunch of people not liking a single standard.
I had to tell you, when I was talking to them, I was like, I should hide this family. I should hide this family.
Yeah, you are the Von Trapps. All of a sudden, it's the Diary of Glenn Beck. I can't wait to read it, where it's a cross between Flowers for Algernon and Flowers in the Attic.
This is, to me, this is the beginning of what happened in Germany.
Well, it did start in Germany, sure, but it should have stopped in Belgium, I think. They could have gone to Belgium and homeschooled their kids. And there are more German speakers in Belgium than there are in the United States. It's weird. It's almost like they're economic migrants using this as an excuse.
No, we're still a long way away from a death camp, and it doesn't.
Ooh, whew, thanks. I was worried. Were you guys okay? I thought we were fucking that close. Jamie, bring up the thing about we're all going to be in death camps and put it on the big screen. Put it up on the big screen. I think, fuck, this is, God. Yeah, we're all going to, I was talking to Alex Jones the other day, and he was blowing PCP-laced weed in my face. And he's like, we're all going to be in death camps. And it wasn't the other day. It was 18 years ago, and then 6 years ago, and then 3 years ago, and then 2 days ago. But it's going to happen eventually. Anyways, Jamie, bring up the death camps on screen.
Doesn't ever have to go there, but this is how it starts.
No, it isn't. As a matter of fact, how it would have started is that these homeschooling people, instead of being fined $9,000 for not sending their kids to school in Germany, because that's the rule in their democracy, they would have been, I guess, scooped up in Germany and murdered. But you know what? These people moved to Tennessee as economic migrants, using this religious thing as a cover and using religious groups as their conduit to get into the United States for an asylum thing. It's fine, because they couldn't have just gone to a neighboring country.
You're letting people come across the border by the millions.
No, they're not. They're not letting people come across the border by the millions. As a matter of fact, they're vetting them and sending them a lot back. As a matter of fact, the Biden administration... hold on. Direct deportation. Okay. So, yeah. So there was, because of the instability in Venezuela, because of there was an issue with it. They were worried about people getting killed, and now that that's kind of settled down, the Biden administration has resumed direct deportation flights to Venezuela. The Biden administration struck a deal with Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro to resume deporting Venezuelans back to the South American country, U.S. authorities said on Thursday. The United States is announcing today it will resume direct repatriations of Venezuelan nationals who cross our border unlawfully and do not establish a legal basis to remain. The Homeland Security said an announcement follows a decision by authorities from Venezuela to accept the return of Venezuelan nationals. The multilateral conversations in Mexico City on Wednesday between the governments of the United States, Mexico, Colombia, and Panama. Thanks, Kamala. The announcement comes as the federal government experienced a sharp rise in Venezuelans between July and August arriving in the U.S. Mexico border. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol registered nearly 200,000 encounters with Venezuelan nationals between October 2022 and August 2023. Over 12,000 more than the whole previous fiscal year. Despite a parole program for Venezuelan nationals announced in October 22, the United States said would curb illegal immigration. It also comes weeks after they expanded temporary protected status. The deportation protection that allows people from countries in turmoil, that's the point, who are already in the United States to live and work here, and made additional 472,000 Venezuelans eligible for benefits. And these were people who've been here for a very long time, by the way. The extra 200,000, those people are getting bounced back because it is restabilized, and Maduro has agreed for removal of sanctions if they don't kill people and all that kind of stuff. The kind of adult decisions you have to make around this shit. Okay.
They don't need to have the vaccine.
Yeah, they do.
They don't. They can send their kids in. You don't have to have the,
No, there isn't. You can't. No. It's not that they can send their kids in. They drop their fucking kids off. And here's the thing, Glenn. What you are actually saying is they can just drop kids off at the border and forget about them, and they're our fucking problem, why can't they just die in the desert? That's the argument, Glenn. They can't just drop them off. As a matter of fact, if they're found to have done that, it's illegal. By whatever country they're in. Mexico in that particular instance. If you put a child on a plane and fly them in the United States with no one to pick them up and no means of going anywhere, and that child steps off that fucking plane, they're going to track you down and put you in fucking jail. It becomes an international criminal probe. You're going to jail, dickhead. Nope, you can't do that. But what also can't happen is America leaving kids to die in the fucking desert. And by the way, we're not going to homeschool these kids, by the way. These kids that show up, they're going to get a real education if they're placed with a family or adopted, or their parents are found and they're sent back to their parents.
MMR shot. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to play by the rules for any reason.
Yes, you do. You actually, especially if you have an asylum claim and you don't want to be immediately deported, you've got to sign up. There's all kinds of fucking rules. Some of you get an ankle monitor. You get a court date. If you violate any of the rules while you're waiting for that court date, you get kicked out, and you've been iris scanned and fingerprinted. And if you ever come back in the country again, you're a criminal, and we send you back to the country you came from, and they put you in jail on our behalf because we're a big rich country that said this person keeps trying to break into our house. There's all kinds of fucking rules. Just because they say there's an open border doesn't mean there's an open border. And the only people saying there's an open border are Republicans. If anybody south of the border has heard that it's open and you're allowed to come in, they've heard it from some asshole like Glenn Beck.
Because the government likes you.
Yeah, because you're brown. They don't like poor German Christian homeschoolers who don't want their kids getting sex ed classes and learning about fairy tales in school.
But a family who comes in the right way, does it the right thing.
No, they're economic migrants who lied about their purpose for asylum.
Proves for 15 years they're solid citizens. They're shipped.
Yeah, but they're, obviously taking resources and jobs and other stuff away from Americans, jobs that they would definitely want. I'm guessing they weren't doing fruit picking or cleaning rooms or any of that kind of stuff. A job that you could argue other people don't want. Were they?
Back? Why? Why?
Because they lied to get in the country, and they don't. Basically, they try to scam their way into a visa.
Because this government has a problem with a Christian family coming in.
Real quick. Let's get past the fact that Catholics are Christians and that most of the Latin American populace that comes across the southern border is Catholic. A lot of the scarier ones have tattoos of Mary on their back. But anyways, let's be abundantly clear. A lot of them have crosses and names and all kinds of stuff that I'm just saying. But also, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and go, most of those fuckers are Christian, but apparently they're not even checking. So maybe, just maybe, that we should screen for Christians. Apparently, so you don't have to get vaccinated. They don't give a shit where you're from or what you're here to do. But they don't want Christians coming in, and they're not bothering to ask. I think there's only one thing we could do. I think we have to surge a bunch of people to the southern border to weed out, in case any Lutherans sneak in. By the way, this is just fucking dumb. Don't get offended by what this dipshit is blathering, because it is utter nonsense.
And you know what? This family will go back to Germany, and they won't
be fine.
Say anything, because that's who they are.
They're good Christian people who realize they were caught doing something wrong. And
good, decent people. Who the hell? Who in Virginia is going to lead a campaign? Have you signed that particular
thingy? The thing with sign the, which use the there's a device, and it has purple or red, there's a word for it in it, and you write it on a thing. It's Joe Biden is old and can't think of anything.
What do you call it?
I don't know. Ask Joe Biden. I guarantee he could tell you immediately. Petition? Is that the word you're looking for?
Petition.
Yeah, that would be the word. Fucking hell. Tell me again how Joe Biden's too old and can't put a sentence together. Jesus Christ. Oh, Glenn was homeschooled. Sorry.
Have you signed that?
No, I haven't. I had a thing, and then I was going to do the other thing, and I couldn't remember what the name of the thing that has the pen in it. Pen. That's the word. Fuck. Right.
Will you sign that?
No, I'm not going to. I mean, I remembered that I was going to, but I decided against it. When I dug deeper into the thing and realized that these people could have gone to a country nearby instead of coming all the way to the United States, and therefore they don't qualify under the asylum rules that Donald Trump harshly enforced on everybody coming across the southern border. I was like, it wouldn't be fair. Just because they're German and white.
Please do.
Nope. Sorry. I'm glad you used the magic word, but your magic has... Your Jedi mind tricks have no control over me.
HSLDA.org.
High school Latter-day assholes. Yeah, that's what it is. Don't you slash
Rome
me.
Ike. Saying it the way it's spelled. R-O.
Rome Ike. Ramike. Yes, it's Ramel. It's the Filsen and Heiden.
M-E-I-K-E. Rome Ike.
Mm-mm.
And read about the family. Read about who they are.
And read about the wool they tried to pull over immigration's eyes for 15 years.
I don't care. And this one, and I don't know if they'd even do it, but I mean.
You want to sponsor people who were violating our immigration laws? Glenn, that's what you're about to say. You're about to say it, Glenn. Come on. Wendy, give me the bat. Wendy?
As long as the people that are there are Christians who actually live the faith, meaning.
So you're going to live with them? You're going to move in with them and check? I think you should have some sort of whiteboard.
They worship a God of peace.
They are Germans, though. So I just say there might be a. I'm just saying this idea that somehow inclusive state education was something that was very upsetting for these people.
And they understand the difference between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's a different guy. I mean, obviously, Martin Luther King is less distinction between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, but more distinction between Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. You know what? They know this. They're Germans.
And will walk like Jesus walked.
In sandals? I honestly, in Tennessee, there's not that much desert, I gotta say.
To make his point, he sacrificed himself.
No, his dad sacrificed him. He didn't have a choice. It was preordained before he was born. He's carrying out his father's mission on earth. I'm just gonna say that I gotta take that. Sorry, hold on 1 second. I gotta check that off the checklist. I don't think Glenn is walking in Jesus. We might have to deport him to Germany, where he would be a lot happier.
To save us.
Define us, but sure.
I will go and kneel at that house every day.
That would be weird. That'd be really fucking weird. It'd be weird. You know, it'd be weird for the kids. Mommy, Mom, die Freigen and Gauken die Kleigen ist von giant bloated Colonel Sanders man is back and is kneeling on the sidewalk in front of the house with the checklist of Christian behaviors again. Mother,
Could you please come? Someone, please. I cannot like it. I don't like it. Where's Papa? Papa, the strange man. Your father is up in the guard tower. Which, most of these suburban houses don't have, but we're German, so we have a guard tower. And he'll be down in just one moment. Now, finish saying your prayers, and I will scare away the bloated Sonic Man. It'll be right back. Don't worry it. Not the guard tower. We don't have one of the guard tower. Same difference. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
I mean, this is, to me.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. To me, it's just, I was thinking with everything that, if you put it, the get on visit. I'm sorry. So sad. If the bizarro Orthodox Christian wannabe Waco assholes living in moving here from Germany under false pretenses to Tennessee to be economic migrants so they could set up a fucking business aren't safe, who among us are? This is fucking, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Glenn Beck's this in Swindler's List. It's a story of a man who saved Germans who fled Germany for no good fucking reason to a country many, many countries away when they could have just moved next fucking door or filed an appeal and won under EU rules and just stayed the fuck home. Swindler's List. That's good. That's rock solid. I stand by that one. That was a good one. That might be that would be a good name for the clip. I'm sorry.
This is such injustice.
Oh, the injustice and the thing. And first we lose half of the headpiece to the staff of Ra, and now this.
And it is everywhere. And one of the...
No, it's just Tennessee, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's just Tennessee.
These things is going to hit you. This one just...
No, probably not. I'm not going to... because I don't plan on circumventing the immigration laws of another country anytime soon. I've learned my fucking lesson, let me tell you this.
Just hit me.
Ugh.
This is not who we are.
Well, now you know how AOC feels. Now you know how everybody feels when we go down to the border and we're trying to differentiate economic migrants who might be coming here illegally versus people who are genuinely seeking asylum, and you guys want to lump them all into one fucking group and send them back no matter what the fuck. You get a little... I'm kidding. This is faux empathy.
This, to me, because it's the same thing.
It is, basically.
This, to me...
is Operation Paperclip 2.0.
Me, is the same thing I felt when we were leaving people behind in Afghanistan.
We weren't. We had people with dual citizenship who are in the opium trade there, and some people who were in NGOs who were not coordinating with the United States government, who were planning on staying. And unless you're talking about the people who helped us in Afghanistan that Trump didn't give a fuck about and didn't process at all.
They were innocent people. They were marked for death. Marked for death. These...
It's one of the better Seagal movies before he went complete batshit.
Guys aren't marked for death, but they'll be in jail.
No, they won't.
They'll be financially ruined.
No, they won't.
Their children will...
They just go to Belgium. They could just move to Belgium. Belgium has the same asylum rules the rest of the world has, and they're right next door. You could just fucking... right there.
Never get a good job in Germany.
Well, that's because they don't want a good job in Germany. What do you think they're going to do? Teach school?
Because all of their schooling doesn't count.
Well, yeah. Here's the problem. In the country that brought you the man who wrote Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, if you don't want to learn the fucking fairy tales, then I'm just telling you, you can't get a fucking job. Secondly, move to Belgium. Also, this is the case with all economic migrants. What's shocking here is not your recognition that these people might have to go through some shit because they can't live in the United States. What's shocking here is that you don't apply that to other countries that don't have functioning fucking governments and a huge safety net. Believe me,
Even German citizens who are treated like shit are in better shape than the top of Venezuelans. Well, the next top. I mean, obviously the leadership, Richie folks. Yeah, but I agree. I mean, ultimately, how am I supposed to? Jesus Christ. He's so sad.
It's persecution.
No, it's not. No, it's not persecution. You could argue that they were kind of religious colonizers, post-Pilgrim, anti-secular democratic government people who tried to come here and undermine the government by running an orthodox anti-government homeschooling effort from another country under the guise of being asylum seekers. I could also shape it like that, and I'm glad to, if you need me to walk you through it. If you're not too busy kneeling in front of the home of these people while they wig out that you're standing on the fucking lawn again.
And it's our government putting our American values aside.
No. Our American values are very well established. And one of them is, according to you guys, that if someone's seeking asylum, their duty is to first seek asylum in the nearest country that they can get to. Not just come to the United States. That seems to be the problem that you guys have with every South American, non-Mexican South American migrant, right? They should just go to the next fucking country. Go to Brazil. Fuck off. It's a big country. Go work and live there. Be a refugee there. They're closer to you. You speak the same language. Beat it. Right? Why you got to come all the way up here? Exactly. It's almost like they're going to have to get German passports and then they can come back and live in the United States. They just don't have asylum status is the issue. Apply for German passports, get a German passport, and then apply for an exemption. Like, the fact that they don't have fucking German passports is another thing. I'm so sad.
Let me give you something good.
Oh boy. It's a little late for that, don't you think? Yeah.
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
We're all sitting here debating the border. And
yeah, we are. We totally are debating the border. What should we have a border? Shouldn't we have a border? What is a border? Is Barnes and Noble's better than Borders books? Is there
We've been telling you, this is so bad. Women are being raped. Children are being taken into sex slavery. Drugs are coming across our border.
Hold on, asshole. You're the person who said that they're dropping their kids off at the border and they can't do that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're trying to save them from sex slavery. Secondarily, who are you fucking hanging out with that wants these kids for sex slavery in the United States? Seriously, you guys seem to know where all these motherfuckers are and you never move to stop it?
Fentanyl is killing our citizens.
Right, and we're trying to stop it, yeah.
And they'll do nothing there. They'll take these German people and send them back.
You do realize when they say seized at the border, they stop stuff coming in, right? You realize when they tell you the number of people who've crossed, that means they've caught them and processed them, and they're either processing an asylum claim or deporting people right away. And of course, the direct flights have just started up again. But when they seize fentanyl at the border, that they don't go, oh, where's this supposed to go? Oh, Indiana? No problem. We'll take it from here. Yeah, absolutely. No. Rest your feet. You've walked all this way.
But they'll do nothing on our border. You know, we say all the time, I'm fighting for my country. I'm fighting for...
Yeah, but that's ridiculous because you're just sitting there talking. Say what you will, but I'm not fighting for anything here. I'm arguing my point. I'm being entertaining. I'm trying to cajole and convince. I'm trying to inform. But this isn't a fight. I've been in a fucking fight. I've been in lots of fights in my life, and that ain't this. Anybody who tells you this is a fight is a fucking moron.
Constitution. I'm not.
Well, that's true.
I'm not. I mean, today...
I've given up. I'm done. America, you're going to have to find another hero.
Is a great example. I'm fighting for my own soul.
And losing, it would seem. And not that hard. Kind of more like a poke fight than tickle fight.
And the soul of my children.
That's weird. Now, is that because the devil showed up while you were walking? You were at a crossroads with a fiddle or something, or
I am fighting
with your own brain, it seems,
against evil.
Okay, and you can do that sitting down. Fuck, you're more than a man. You're more of a man than I am. God damn it, I have to put up whatever fight I'm putting up on my feet. And Jesus, you can fight evil in a puffy down vest and a button down in a studio in air conditioning? Huh. I guess it's nice. What do? Do you use like Postmates? Does Uber bring evil to you? And then you just have them like ring the bell and then you answer the door and evil! Evil! And then fucking the drama.
How can you keep a border open?
We don't.
When you know this is going on.
Well, the Title 42 is the cause for this entire sub-industry of trafficking people, because people would pay to get across the first time, and then they get caught and they get deported immediately, and they get no mark on their record, so they can try again, but they don't have money to pay the coyotes, so they have to either carry drugs or traffic themselves as an attempt to get across the border. The other thing, too, is talk about blaming the victim. What, the United States is responsible for all the awful people do to get here? What are we supposed to do? Be less of a country? I mean, I know that's what Trump was trying.
You know this is going on. We're killing our own people with fentanyl.
No, we're not doing it, but we're not doing it ourselves. They're ingesting these drugs themselves. Unless you know of something that I don't know. Are we putting it in the water in Texas, or we're not? No, we're not. We're not killing our own people with fentanyl. And argue if we're killing our own people with fentanyl, then who can blame the cartels for dropping the shit off at the border? Thanks. Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go kill some of my own citizens with it. But thanks for bringing it all the way up here. I appreciate it.
People are coming over. Women are being raped day after day, multiple times a day, just to get here.
Right. Which I think would point to the value of the country. And what you're saying is, get raped all you want, but we don't consider you an asylum seeker, and so we're going to send you back to where you came from immediately. No processing, no support, no nothing, because maybe you're not a German Christian. And if you try again, you're just going to get raped multiple times all the way up here, and we're going to tell you the same fucking thing, because values. What the fuck is this dude talking about? What? Oh, as if this isn't the greatest pontificating, I must say. Oh, by the way, just bullshit. This is all bullshit. I don't even think he believes it. I don't even know what he fucking. That's what that whole "I'm fighting for my soul" nonsense is about. Doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
We're turning a blind eye to our overlords on the border, the drug cartels. We are cutting our own fences while we cut our own throats.
See, I don't think we're cutting. We do replace some of the fences with wall or replace it with other barrier. That's how most of Trump's wall was built. Actually, was because that money was allocated for just that task during the Obama era. But that's it. He just bails out. We're cutting our own fences while we cut our own throats. I don't know what he's talking about. This is just bullshit. This is just, it's a masterclass in self-righteous fucking delusion. Glenn, you're a fucking mess, buddy. Whew. You're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. I would like to end today, if I may, with a cautionary tale. We're here on the regular, and seldom do we have weeks like this that are just so full of joy and hilarity and fun, watching Trump getting all mad and sweaty and steamy and walking out of court with a big full diaper. And now the speaker's issue that happened in the House was just a joy to watch. And while I think it's bad that we don't have a speaker, for the record, I also am not going to sweat about it currently, because there's a myriad of ways that adults will work around the system. And if we discover that this is a hitch in our get along as a country, a law will be passed when sensible people run the country that will remedy this issue in the future. That in future, if one party cannot decide on their leader, the other party has the right and ability to present a leader, and by unanimous vote from their own side can get that person. How about that? How quickly do you think the fucking rules would have changed in the House as far as who the speaker is if the Democrats had the right within a certain margin, if the Republicans couldn't agree on leadership, that if they had a unanimous vote on the Democratic side, they could pick a leader that would be the spokesperson for the Speaker of the House? Like, how quickly do you think they would have jumped to find somebody, and they wouldn't have had to bend over backwards to the Matt Gaetzes of the world to do it? Yeah. But this is them. Chip Roy says, "We're gonna unify and get through this. We're gonna find our way together. We're alone in the woods and I don't know where I am, and I'm lost and I've got you here with me." Chip Roy thinks they're gonna be just fine, and Comer seems mildly happy because it's 1 week where he's not the biggest dipshit in Congress. Think about how much he's getting a break from being an absolute loser on the Hunter Biden story right now. So like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Here we go. Chip Roy, we're going to unify and we're going to get through this. I got you, babe.
Here with reaction to tonight's breaking news, Chairman James Comer of the powerful House Oversight Committee.
Powerful. Oh, it's so powerful. It's got oversight.
And Texas Congressman Chip Roy. Good to see you both. Chip, we've been talking a lot about you tonight.
Yeah, we've been talking about you a lot. Behind your back, largely. See his face start to droop when he said that?
It's frustrating to me. I stayed in touch with you through the whole process. You, Byron Donalds, Scott Perry.
You guys all promised me this wouldn't go this way, and now I look like a right shithead, which is no basic change.
I agree. I'm a dope. But, you had two great alternatives you put forward for a continuing
exactly
resolution that would have bought time, cut spending, secured the borders,
and never gotten through the Senate,
protected our vets, and
never gotten through the Senate,
Defense Department. And those two proposals got rejected by the conservatives here. What the hell?
Yeah, what's that? It's almost like they don't work for the American people, and they're getting their marching orders from some dictatorial asshat overseas who might have, I don't know, compromat on them. It's a thought.
What's going on?
What's going on besides you being totally ineffective and full of shit, and you couldn't find your ass with both hands if you were trying to keep a snail with spikes on it from crawling up your ass?
Moon River. Yeah, Sean, great to be on and great to hear from my former.
Is it though? Is it? I mean, it's great to be on TV, but not under these circumstances.
Boss and good friend from Texas, Ted Cruz, and to be here with Jamie. And look, the fact.
Don't call me Jamie. I'm James. Fuck you, Jamie. What am I, the fucking bionic woman? Fuck.
The matter is, the Democratic Party has no interest in working with us to solve any of the problems the American people are facing.
Really? Matt Gaetz didn't seem to have a problem working with the Democrats to oust the speaker.
They don't want to solve the problem of crime in the nation's capital that led to one of our colleagues, a Democrat, getting carjacked a mere 9 blocks away from here. They don't.
Well, it is a city issue with that regard. I mean, they can obviously, I don't know, what are they going to do? Deny funds to a place that's already been denied funds?
They want to deal with open borders. They don't want to.
It's because we don't have an open border.
Deal with the fentanyl pouring into Texas.
Well, look, you got to go down there to Texas and talk people out of using fentanyl. Maybe it's a demand problem. I'm not a businessman, but boy.
They don't want to deal with, pushing back on China. They don't want to.
It's weird because all of their bills have shit to deal with this, and you guys don't want to pass them because they don't, have little side cul-de-sac bullshit social things about drag shows in them.
Deal with the woke agenda, killing our military. They don't want to deal with any of the
By the way, no members of our military have been killed by diversity training. Not a one.
pressing issues of the day. So it is left to us to govern.
I mean, like Meghan and Harry. What do you mean pressing issue of the day? I'm just trying to be specific.
To the 221 of us to figure out how to get it done.
And plus or minus 18.
And if we have some minor disagreements.
Yeah, they're minor disagreements. All we did was oust our own fucking speaker after less than a year for no fucking reason other than trying to actually put bills forward that could make it through the Senate and get signed into law.
Or even major disagreements in our party.
Or, yeah, some major disagreements about, passing bills that can actually be signed into law.
Then some of that spills out into the open.
Jamie, stop farting.
Wish we had pursued the path of the legislation that we put forward last week. We should have. I don't know who would be against, if you're a conservative, cutting.
Yes, you do. You know them personally. As a matter of fact, you've caucused with them for the last year. You guys have been like up each other's asses, like the freedom human centipede this entire time. You know exactly who. I got news for you, asshat. The very people you're talking about, you have them on speed dial. They're in your favorite sections on your fucking phone. All of them. Don't pretend it's a section of your party like, God, there's 200 fucking people here. I've never even met these assholes.
30% from the federal bureaucracy and targeting border security with the strong H.R. 2 bill, which we all worked together to pass. I wish we had done that. But right now I'm focused.
But we're the Republicans, and, I've had my head so far up his ass. Every time his phone rings, my teeth rattle.
It's like a laser on moving forward, Sean. We are going to unify. We're going to get through this and come.
No. Spoiler alert. No.
Together, because we've got to go stand up for the American people to make sure that we secure the border of the United States, cut spending, make sure we address the, frankly.
Sean Hannity knows your priorities. I'm just saying that this is not a campaign speech. When you campaign, you're talking to people who may or may not vote for you or with you. You're talking to a group of people, perhaps at a rally or a political gathering, where they might not be convinced that you are in line with the values they want moving forward, or they're not sure what you stand for, so you make that point. You are on a show standing next to Jamie Comer, and on Sean Hannity's show, where the viewership only knows these points. They know what your priorities are. What they also know right now is that you cannot, you are completely incapable of moving any of that shit forward because you have kowtowed to the lunatics in your party. Nobody has a problem figuring out where the target is. What they can't figure out is why you're letting Matt Gaetz grab hold of the bow while I'm trying to hit the target, Matt. He's like, I'm trying to rub my dick on you. That's
ongoing proxy wars in Ukraine and not go down that road very far. And we've got to make sure that
not go down that road very far, just far enough to give the Ukrainians a sense of hope, but not enough where Putin loses.
We stand up for the people who sent us here to push back on the Democratic agenda. So I'm focused.
Ted Cruz.
It's like a laser on that. I'm not leaving town right now. I'm here. I think we need to do our job. We shouldn't adjourn. We should stay here and do what the American people sent us here to do.
And you didn't think that maybe doing that before, I don't know, maybe in June when the appropriations bills and all this shit could have been handled and it would have required this CR that caused this whole cascading effect. You don't think doing that? You know what? I was wrong. You should go check what Hunter Biden was doing in 2017 when Trump was president.
We're not going to be distracted from that, in my opinion.
Yeah, you are. You're totally distracted from that. You can't get any of it done until this is handled. You don't have a fucking speaker.
I understand Steve Scalise is making calls tonight. Are there any names that come to mind that you like for speaker?
I'm not going to play that game yet. I want to have some
that means a no on Steve.
Private conversations. I've talked to Steve, and look, mainly I want him. He's battling cancer. I had a blood cancer. I want to make sure he's healthy and good for him and his wife Jennifer. We'll rally around someone.
And anybody who becomes speaker, we are going to be completely toxic to that person. So if you've got any kind of an illness and we put you in that position, quite frankly, you're a dead man walking. I don't care. I'm worried about some of the healthy members of our caucus who become it. I think, other than Matt Gaetz, who ages like a reptile, everybody else, if they even try this job, There's a South American, I don't know if you know this, Sean, a South American tribe for years who they didn't have any large cutting tools. They had smaller cutting tools, but the trees were so gigantic that the way they would fell a tree is the entire tribe would sit around a tree and scream at it for 30 days until it died and fell over. We do that basically with our speaker, and then we make a canoe out of them.
I assure you, this Republican conference needs to come together and rally around. And look,
you assure us that they need to come together, dude. We fucking know. You don't assure somebody that something needs to happen. You assure some people that something can happen, and you can't. So fuck off.
Look, this kind of thing happens on July. In July of 1804.
This kind of thing happens in July of 1804. Jesus Christ, really? Listen to that sentence again. That's fucking magic.
And look, this kind of thing happens on July. In July of 1804.
In the end,
this kind of thing happens. ... in July of 1804. Yes, Chip. Congratulations. It has been fucking hundreds of years since your party has fucked up this bad.
And this could be fine. I'm not doom and gloom here.
Yeah, he is.
However,
that's not a good follow-up to I'm not doom and gloom.
The American people's patience is going to run out quick.
I'm okay. I think Democrats' patience is pretty good. We're a little irritated that you guys are, fucking shit up, and it's a little bit like watching somebody argue for, a drunk argue for the keys to the bus. And you're like, we'll get them back. Don't worry, but this is not good.
So I don't think you guys have a lot of time. You need.
No, yeah, he's right. You don't have a lot of time. You are what's the word? I had it written down here somewhere. Here it is. It's, I wrote it down right here. You're fucked. That's what it was.
Stay there, not go home, lock yourselves in a room, buy pizza, buy beer. I don't care what the hell you drink.
Yeah, I would rather they not drink in these situations. He likes the idea, but no.
And come out with a speaker. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, like it's sort of, think of it like hillbilly Pope. That's what it is. The Republicans should pick the fucking speaker like they pick the Pope. If we see brown smoke from these assholes lighting their farts, that's how we know a speaker has been chosen. His Holiness the Speaker.
So, and
you love me? No, but that's a real nice ski mask.
Frankly, it's got to be somebody that's going to follow through on the promises made. Congressman Comer,
Sean, they can't. They can't. The Republican Party is so divided, especially in the House, that whoever becomes speaker, to become speaker, has to lie to both groups. They have to bullshit their way to the front. Honest to God. And the only option they have, one of the reasons why they're floating Trump, is because he'll lie to both groups, but both groups are okay with him lying to them. So that's what you need. You need kind of like a mini Trump. How about Eric? He's completely full of shit, and everybody will think they can manipulate him.
I'm worried that all other action in the House is going to stop.
Are you really?
Including your really important investigation.
So important. It is important. Yeah, what are you going to do?
How does that stand?
Well, we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to continue to read emails. We're going to continue to look at bank statements. We're going to continue to talk to people that have...
Talk to people? Ooh. That sounds exciting.
Insider knowledge of what the Bidens were really doing.
Yeah. And are they gonna tell you again? He asked about the weather the 2 times I heard him, and they'd never talk business. And so I'm sorry, you're gonna get further away from Hunter Biden than Devin Archer and other people, and try to find somebody who's further down on the chain who went, oh yeah, it's totally there. They spent it. He's got gold shutters on his Wilmington house so that he can Menendez his way out of the country at some point.
With respect to criminal activity and with respect to Joe's knowledge, we're going to continue to be putting together a timeline. So we're not going to stop. We're going to continue from the committee member standpoint, from the committee staff standpoint.
Yeah, it's not like you're busy writing legislation or passing shit. You can't. I guess, what are you going to do other than stay home and read Joe Biden's old emails from years ago? Have at it, asshole. Good luck. Yep, but we're all very excited. I'm waiting with bated breath.
And we're expecting a whole nother batch of bank documents to come in.
Yeah, really exciting. Whole batch.
This week from our subpoena last week. So everything's moving forward. We're continuing to follow the money. And
yeah, and you'll notice that I'm shrugging with my shoulders, which basically is my way of signaling that I don't fucking know. And I hope so, but I don't know. And shruggity shrug.
This is an unfortunate event, but it's not stopping our work.
This time next week,
it's not work.
I invite you back, will we have a new speaker? Chip.
Yes.
That you're Jamie. He's Chip. It's not good. This does not bode well. They don't.
I believe we're certainly going to work hard to do it. I mean,
yes.
No, he's James. He already said yes. Chip, James, Chip. But say it again.
Yes.
Hold on. Back up.
If I invite you back, will we have a new speaker? Chip.
Yes.
I believe we're certainly going to work hard to do it. I mean,
yes.
Okay. Will we have a new?
All right. What? If I bring you guys back on next week, well, I know which of you is which. Also, can we play that clip of apparently Joe Biden not knowing where his sister and his wife were when they were on opposite sides? Because he was like, my sister, oh, fuck, they moved you around. And he does that, and everybody's like, that doesn't even know his wife from his sister. And then, and these two guys are on camera right in front of him. And he goes, Chip. And Jamie says, yep. And then he goes, James. And he goes, yeah. And Sean doesn't seem to care.
Speaker a week from now.
Yes.
I certainly hope so. I don't think.
I certainly hope so. Hey. That's his line. James Comer is the one who says, I hope so. It's his catchphrase in this giant Hunter Biden laptop sitcom. I hope so.
We ought to leave town until we figure that out. But again, these things happen.
Yeah, they happen. They happened in 1804, and they're happening now. You know, it's kind of like they happen, like scurvy and the wagon breaking down, and Ma running out of gingham, and they happen like pilgrims starving, and they they happen. Like Halley's Comet.
This country's been through a lot worse. In 1804, we had
in 1804
we had a Treasury Secretary and Vice President dueling. Okay, we're gonna get through this.
Yeah, in 1804. Yeah, we also didn't have airplanes, fuckhead, in the air that required an FAA to make sure they don't fall out of the fucking sky. Why would that make me feel better? The fuck are you talking about? Things have been worse. There was a time when we didn't even have written language and used to club our women. Wouldn't that be nice to go back to that? I'm kidding, Sean. I don't agree with that. Kind of do.
We're going to make sure that our country moves forward, secure the border, cut spending, hold the Biden administration accountable.
You're not calling those the good old days when we just...
Yeah, he is.
Say, all right, let's go out in the back and have a duel, We're not returning to those days. Anyway, thank you both. Hey.
Well, that's not because these guys wouldn't want it, but because they're, to borrow a phrase, fucking pussies. These guys are all up in each other's grill until the actual dust-off happens. Yet all of them seem to think that if we went to back to like an Old West model, that they would always be the fastest gun in the West. And when in reality, they'd all fucking die of gangrene within 2 years. Lazy. They're lazy for thinking this way. All right, I'm going to leave you with that because I went over. It was a long extra show today because I love you. And I started the show late because it's family FaceTime. Tomorrow morning, Boston Brian's going to be on with us in the second hour, I believe. Is that correct? Yes. And then it's going to be a good time. Hold on, I'm checking the staff chat before I leave. We have a Discord that you can become a member of if you're it costs a pretty penny, by the way, if you're a Patreon member, you can get in there. It's a good time. And let's see. Oops. Oh, yeah. Thanks for sending me the Christian conservative. Okay, hold on. Audio mic check. All is good. Is what he said. Perfect way text from Brian. Okay, good. He's good. Excellent. And oh, by the way, this is pretty fucking sweet. I will say, this business right here. Gooey. We'll leave you with this because it's kind of lovely. Move this comms down here. The judge in Trump's New York fraud trial has set October 26 as the deadline for the family to dissolve its businesses within the state. Hear ye, hear ye. The family's also been ordered not to transfer any assets without notice. The order, which Trump is appealing, would, and that's not true because Trump has never been appealing, would end the Trump empire in New York. Hear ye, hear ye. Yes, really. Donald Trump has officially been ordered to dissolve his businesses in the state of New York. We all thought, this might have happened a couple weeks later. Apparently, they didn't have to go very far at all. The trial will continue. Trump isn't going to be there, but one of the reasons why he left specifically is because this is already settled. Bye-bye. And on that, sorry, my lovely chat room, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. And yes, you are correct. I have been right again. If you'll recall back before I said they're going to, before Trump ends up in jail, the first thing he's going to lose is his business license in New York. You guys will recall that. Anybody who wants to go back and look at those shows years ago. I said that's part of the process. You have to get rid of the myth before you get rid of the man and, throw him in jail. I'm not asking for violence. I don't want the man to die, just for the record. I don't even want him sick. I want him to live as long and as healthy as he could possibly want in a 8x10 gray cell with a roommate with a neck tattoo. But I would like to say for the record, this is exactly what I said would happen, and I'm right, and you're wonderful, and I just thank you for your time. And it just proves that I won't waste it. I'm not going to waste your time. Unlike some people I could mention, but I won't. Like,
I had a beat off.
Somebody like that can write good.
Here I am like an idiot. Free health care for illegal. Look. Michigan gave us Motown. Gave us Motown. Gave us the Mustang.
I don't read, obviously.
They don't like the gas. Where's Dick? Hi, Dick. Do we like Dick? Yes. What?
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
Just follow the money.
Throw me a freaking bone here. I'm the boss.
The company that his son worked for, that's where it is. But to me, Corona means Italy.
Did have shade.
When they gaze upon Yosemite,
Butthole!
Captain's log. I never thought anybody could forget so much so fast without a severe blow to the head.
people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup.
Shut up and never say anything again as long as you live.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President Mike Pence and his wonderful wife Karen. once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
Great to be with you, Dick.
I like wood. All right. So much for that.
What? Putin? Oh, yeah, that's normal. There goes GT.
I don't know. I'm not good with that.
All I'm offering is the truth.
I should just sit there and bleed a while before you taste some real pain.
Something strange happened to me this morning. Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you? No. Why am I the only person that has that dream?
The sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.